Good morning, everybody, and happy Halloween. This is Dr. Myra Salcido, and I love Halloween because I was an October birthday, and I once had a witch piñata, if you can imagine that. And I also celebrate Dia de los Muertos. So, in this course, I think people are, this is for my integrated reading and writing course, UNIV, University 0400. And some people are having problems navigating the course, getting around in the course and finding the actual assignments. I think what you need to know is when you get into Canvas, go to modules on the left-hand gray side of your screen. Each module, each unit is a week. So go to the modules and look at the overview, and you get a whole lot more information than if you're just going to assignments and trying to figure them out. The prompts and there'll be samples of papers for the final exam, which is not an actual exam. You will just do your best writing and mind, Modern Language Association style, MLA style, and some of you need to work on that, so I may make a video for just that alone. But when you quote a source, you quote the person that is speaking. If somebody is writing the background of Frederick Douglass, for example, you would quote that person when they say when the years Frederick Douglass lived and died, and have parentheses, put the person who said it in the parentheses, their last name only, space, and then page number in parentheses. That's it. You don't put in PG, P period, or a comma between the last name and the page number. So that's called an in-text citation. It's in the body of your paper, in the text of your paper, and not the last page, which is works cited. Also, at the university level, works cited pages do not count towards your page counts for your major papers. That's just how it is. And so I've had people in my other classes writing papers too short, thinking that the works cited page counts towards the page count. Say the paper should be 4 pages. 4 pages, and in addition to that would be a works cited page, which is where you cite your sources. So I'm going to find a Modern Language Association style template and put it in for this week's course. I will give you credit for watching this video as the one that I was going to do on keeping it honest. And all you would need to do is write in the box, text box, a couple paragraphs about if you learned anything new from the video. And it has to be more than Dr. Myra Salcido has a witch hat on. I really like the way people engage with the discussion boards. Especially the 5 myths about writing from Duncan Carter. I knew him, and gosh, he wrote that maybe 15, 20 years ago, and it still is relevant today that there's this disconnect between what the state requires for high school, the STAR test and everything, and then you get to the university and suddenly you have to write more than 5 paragraphs or whatever it is on the STAR test right now. I know it really puts writers into a box. So if you get writer's block, just sit down and start typing away, and make a big mess, or you can handwrite. But since so many people don't do cursive anymore, it takes too long to handwrite. So you just type up everything. Do not backspace. Do not stop to correct anything. Just get all your ideas down first. And then you can go back and see if there's one good idea in the paper and what might be your main point of the paper. And then you could shape things around that. You could start in the middle of the paper. You could start at the end if you already know the end, and most people don't until they get through the paper. But, don't feel like you have to have this perfect introduction to get going. That's not true at all. That's not how writers write that I know, and I'm one of those people that will write everything I know and add in some quotations, and then start shaping the paper and organizing it after I get my thoughts down, so it avoids writer's block. And The Watcher at the Gates by Gail Godwin. Everybody has their little rituals for writing. Some people have to have music on, headphones on. If I do that, I listen to classical music or instrumental, because if there's words, I'll start singing along with them in my head while I'm trying to type. But that does not seem to be a problem for this generation. So, yeah. Do what works for you. I worked in a newspaper for 14 years, and I had pens and newspaper pads where I'd go out and take notes. This is before cell phones and you could record people. And I would have to line everything up on my desk. I'd have to clean the whole office up before I could write something really important, because it seemed like the clutter in my space was the clutter in my mind. So yeah, you can think about that. I am going to make a couple videos and try to get a librarian and get everybody more engaged in class. I'm sorry the Halloween conference that we had yesterday, and I'll send you information on that if you're interested in watching any of the recordings. We had people talk about the Vampire Diaries, Lucifer, Game of Thrones. So we had some pop culture, and then we had some very literal stuff. And stuff is a word you shouldn't use because it's vague. So try to think about that. There will be some few little assignments coming up, and nothing major. And the final exam is not a final exam. It's your best writing in the letter, looking back over the semester, what you've improved on. And I see a lot of improvement in writing, and I kind of wonder, shouldn't a couple of these people take the test and pass out of this class? But I guess there's not much left of the semester to worry about that. But you do need to finish the course unless you take a test and pass out of it before the last week of December. So I hope some of these hints help you, and I have spent day and night talking to people around the world to put together this Halloween conference that we had yesterday, and it just ate up my life. That, and I write letters of recommendation for students and even professors for jobs. So yeah, I keep way too busy, and I am going to be in the course more. It's midterm. I will catch everybody's grades up today after I'm terribly interrupted by a visit from my grand dogs. Um, uh, the dachshund, our wiener dog, is a puppy, and I'm expected to throw a ball down the hallway about 58 times when they get here. So they come for breakfast. And then I have to shoo everybody out so I can do my grading, which, as I said, is midterm. So I will be letting people know what your midterm grade is. If you haven't already, there's a few people. I'm still catching up this morning. And Frederick Douglass, was not an easy read. And I still want to have a video conference live for as many people that can come and talk about what they got out of his writing. It's good to stretch your brain and to read. Reading is huge. To read higher level works. And even if you just read novels, read. I know people feel like you don't have time. But, with all the electronic books and everything, you should be able to get some reading in, even if it's before you go to sleep. And the bad thing is I have a habit of doing that. It helps me go to sleep, which is great, except for when you're trying to read something and you don't want to take a nap in the middle of an assignment. So, yeah, there's those. And the 5 myths about writing is one of my favorite things because people get locked into it. You can know the rules, and then break the rules. For example, I have started sentences with the word and. And if you know how, I say it a lot, if you know how to write the rules, then later on you can learn to break the rules. And I'll have another video about that. But try to build up your vocabulary. Don't say okay, say acceptable. Okay is slang stuff. And even when you're just writing in discussion boards to each other, try to be a little bit more formal, not, hey, dude, good to see you writing again. So the discussion boards, you need to answer to at least 2 people in a paragraph each. So don't forget that. It's half the grade of the 50-point discussion boards. So do be sure and do that. I've been cutting people a break because I haven't jumped into the course enough in the last few weeks. Well, I'm back. So I've been watching assignments all along, but I have not entered grades quickly enough. So I'm doing that now. And I forgot to tell my husband to buy candy at the grocery store. And it's Halloween, yay! So I will get this out to everybody and make another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.